Welcome or welcome back to WatchAdvisor on YouTube. It's Alexander speaking, your host. Welcome. And with me is Guido Terreni, the CEO, the new CEO, I have to say, of Parmigiani Watches. Hello, Guido.
Hello, Alex.
You feel comfortable?
I'm very fine. Always with you.
That's good.
Don't forget to subscribe and to hit the bell to get our latest notifications.
Guido joined the company a year ago, so we have him 1 year as the new CEO of Parmigiani. He came from Bvlgari, where he was before in charge of the watch division or the watch department. We were able, thanks to his invitation, to really film all details of all the different companies under the roof of Parmigiani. It's not only a little atelier where they assemble some watches. You were able almost to do everything at Parmigiani. I was really astonished. You have your sister companies and it's crazy. So,
well, that's one of the reasons for which I took this challenge. There are two things that moved me a lot. One is the prestige of the brand, which is very high in terms of appreciation of the quality, and the other is mastering the craft. And you saw in these 3 days that we spent together, it's really blows your mind what is done in all the group.
I can tell you, and please, this is the first video you will see in that series of Parmigiani videos. If you are now seeing this one, be sure not to miss on our channel, WatchAdvisor on YouTube, to see the different videos where we show you the inside, how they do the watches from A to Z, manufacturing or mastering almost 90% of everything. Okay, they don't do the glasses, they don't do the leather straps. Okay, there's no crocodile farm somewhere hidden behind where you do your own but the rest is done here.
I strongly believe that in luxury, mastering your craft is something extremely important for the authenticity of the brand, for the client. So it's one of the reasons. The other is, as I said, the prestige and the fact that Parmigiani is a niche brand. In this historical moment, in my 22 years of experience, I've never seen a moment so interesting for niche brands as today, because luxury is becoming bigger and bigger, you see it, and the bigger it becomes, the more mainstream it goes. So there's a sort of homologations where everybody is going and buying the same thing.
It leaves a vacuum behind.
And there are people who are not interested in this.
Yes, it's a vacuum.
You were talking to me about your beautiful jacket. And you were saying how proud you were that you found out this 20 years ago, and now everybody is looking at it. So these are the same feelings, that you see in trying to have a pleasure which is personal. No? And when you are able to couple this personal pleasure with the style which is understated, which is the other atout of the brand, because I strongly believe that we are addressing people that are not ostentatious, that have a private view of luxury, deep, knowledgeable, and not show off. Because luxury is about excellence and about evolving excellence, because the other thing I don't like is to copy the past. The past is a heritage that you have to inject in a contemporary product because that's your history. So that's why when I came, I felt that the brand in only 25 years was able to do exceptional pieces from a crafted point of view. A lot of finishings, a lot of details that are very rich, rooted in the history of watchmaking. But they were missing a little bit of freshness in the style, in coming up to date to the market of today. And that was the first project that we started immediately in my arrival, building on the Tonda GT that was already 2020 launched, that was refreshing a little bit the clientele. I wanted really to state which was the brand identity, if you want, going into the roots of the design and putting up front certain aesthetic codes that were very important, keeping the best movements of the company. So this collection is called the Tonda PF. It's built around 4 manufactured movements, which are extremely interesting from a making point of view. One is the micro rotor in platinum, an ultra thin watch. The second one is an integrated chronograph 5 Hertz with a column wheel. It's something very, very interesting, high frequency. And the third is the annual calendar, which has been in the company since many, many years, but we redid the affichage, the style of the display. And then the last is probably the pinnacle of the movement capacity in terms of finishing, is the split-second chronograph. And it's a manually winded gold movement. You have 37 grams of gold in that movement. To see how well it's made. It's even signed by Michel because it was done for the 20th anniversary and it was awarded in Geneva as the best chronograph. So it's really something extremely special. What are the ingredients of this style? First of all, as we are dressing understated people, we wanted a minimal design, something that was pure, something that was simple, not over-designed. No? But what is interesting is that it's not just the simplicity of the idea that is very powerful, but it's also in contrast with the making of it. So you see very subtly certain finishings that are not in your face. First of all, guilloché. A dial in guillochage is something that gives you a refinement which is superior. No? It's a craft that usually goes in watchmaking back to old-fashioned style, back to classic moods. No?
Yes.
So how do you do it contemporary? We decided to do it very small, very, very tiny, in order almost not to see it. Because it had to be a texture, had to be present. When you look at the watch, every time you look at the dial, you want to see what time it is. You don't want to be disturbed in too many decorations, in too many things that are invasive. So the texture is there, but it's not there. No? It's something, it's like a refinement, but it's not aggressive in the style. And then the opening of the dial with these small indexes that are segmenting. There are people who don't like it. They said, why? The wall is too empty.
You probably know that I was already featuring the Tonda in an own video, and I got comments, why is there no small second?
Because of the fact that we wanted a fresh look. If you put a petite seconde at 6 o'clock, it ages the mood of the watch. It goes back into classic mood. And if you add the second, it's too much. If you put a second at the center, it becomes a little bit more sporty. This is more dressy. So these are all aesthetic details that are done through the technique. To read the time, you just need two hands. So why to put in too much index? Yeah. The index are small to open up this work and to make the guilloché become protagonist. And then the difficulty of this dial is that it's on two steps, no? Because we put at the predominant position the guilloché to make it protagonist, and then you have a mini scale which is lower and sandblasted to have a very neat and precise decalque on that.
Could say that you gave time the maximum possible space on the dial.
Yes.
No disruptions or no intervening anything, just time.
Yes. To me, even in a complication, when you take an annual calendar like this, what you want to see is what time it is. You cannot be disturbed by the rest of the complication when 95% of the time you're reading at hour and minutes. Then if you want to enjoy the complexity, you have the complexity, but it has to breathe, the watch. It doesn't have to be too crowded. No? The choices of the color, to do this color in gray, which is not gray, because gray is dead, black and white, no life. You inject a little bit of brown in it, and it becomes warm, it becomes sophisticated, it becomes refined. No?
I still have the blue in my hands as always, my favorite color, but...
But again, you have a little bit of gray there that makes it a different blue. It's not something that you see so obvious. No? So these are all what we call sartorial elements applied to design. And then the two surfaces are done with two different colors. When you will see the video on the dial factory that you shot, you see how the different surfaces and the different reflection of the light of the treatment make a ton sur ton effect, but it's the same color, just the tonality is different because the light reflected in different ways.
You also very much worked on the comfort, how to wear the watch by lifting up the lugs a little bit.
Well, everything that is about a timepiece is to be done to be wearable in an effortless way. No? Because when you wear a watch, you should not feel it. Probably the only object that you don't think about when you dress up in the morning, it's the only object that you know it will be that one that you will accompany you with. No? Then you decide what jacket, what shirt, no, but the watch is always that one. So you have to be extremely comfortable with it. And what I appreciate a lot in Parmigiani is that this design of the lugs are extremely comfortable because even on the ultra thin, there is an invitation of the back case that lowers a little bit the glass and allows the case to be elevated and not touching too much the skin with the lugs. And this is a small detail that makes it a comfortable thing.
So again, I think your intention was to create a watch that you don't feel on the wrist and that literally melts with your wrist and is just there, always.
I always do the parallel with clothes. No? When you do a tailor-made suit, it fits your body.
It does.
It's not the size that is I'm a 50. my size 50 pret-à-porter, I'm done differently from another 50.
Yeah.
You know? So when you apply this to watchmaking, for instance, the bracelet, I'm obsessed with the flexible bracelets. Because personally, I don't like a semi-rigid bracelet because it's the designer who decides which is the arch that the bracelet does the curve. It's not your body. So if a bracelet follows your wrist perfectly, if it's free to move in every direction.
Yeah, it is.
So all these things play with comfort, play with how you reflect the light, the anglage that you have that is digressive here, the polishing around the lug, the brush, the platinum bezel to be soft. All these are ways to address a personal pleasure to the eye, but also to the wearing and the comfort. So these together makes this beautiful feeling of a refined timepiece.
Many might be curious what will be next. It's 1 year at Parmigiani, an entire collection is there. I know that the collection was very positively welcomed by the trade. I have my ears, of course, with my friends in the trade, and they say me that's really cool. Cool. I heard that. What's next, Guido?
Well, you know, in watchmaking, you have to give time.
Yeah.
It's not a fashion world where you do a season after the other. Watchmaking is about decades, if not centuries.
Yeah, but you don't have so much time.
I know, but what I would like is that this sign becomes recognizable. So we are going to make it become a full-fledged collection. That is the backbone of the brand. Of course, we are looking into evolution of innovation into movements, because I believe that niche brands have the obligation to be at the frontier of luxury, in style and technically speaking. Okay. So we will go back to the board and work on ideas to like world premieres, things that are never been done. This is very interesting to me, but we will not do a lot of novelties just for the sake of doing novelties. So you will not see proliferation of references. It's more every introduction.
And some fading out maybe of old references.
Oh yes, we have to clean a little bit our portfolio of watches, but this is in the process, like every maintenance that you have to do. But what I would like in the short term is that this collection becomes really seeked at as a refined, elegant, understated timepiece for somebody who has a contemporary taste. The fact that it's 100-meter water resistance with a screwed crown, these are the maximum service that you can give from a functionality point of view. But luxury is not about functionality. Luxury is about what's on top of that. If you're just technical, you're cold, no? How do I give an emotion to a person who wants to be standing out with refinement? And that's the reason, one of the reasons for which we took out the logo from the company. You know, the dial, you don't see the Parmigiani Fleurier writing because it's not necessary for a discreet client.
We will be able to either know that this is a Parmigiani or not, and if not, then it's in the one who wears the watch might explain or might not. But it's not an object that will already blink meters away or 100 meters away and say, I am a. You will have to discover and know. Very nice approach. And I think there is a big, huge group of watch aficionados just drifting away, as you said, from more superficial stuff to more really the fun stuff. Yeah. The 2.0 stuff, I always say. And I think there is a niche where Parmigiani needs to really establish itself to be the brand that is sought after in that niche. And once you will be able to discover in our videos how far they go and how impressive it is what they have in the background, they really master everything. The escapement, the hairsprings, all the different parts, the components you need for a movement, the cases. They do their own dials. You know, it's just like a big manufacture, as you always tend to hear in the industry. It's split over some places, but it is Parmigiani. And this is also something I might say, these specialized manufacturers, Atto-Kalpa, Elvin, and then Rocher, in a total, they are serving 50 different brands. It's not only you that you can take advantage, but they are serving some of the most prestigious names in the industry. I would say there is that name of that golden triangle or the golden three, and some of them are part of the clients of the group. So you can imagine that's not crap, that's really the high end.
Everything started with the Sando Family Foundation, no? So the property is there, and the brand was not able, because of its niche, to sustain such an industrial capacity. So it was decided to have spin-offs of Parmigiani that was only Parmigiani before. Then Vaucher was born to serve movements and to provide the top of the industry with the possibility of doing personalized high-end movements. But everything started from Parmigiani, and then it's important that we work together, and it's part of the beauty of being integrated, because I always say that integration is not interesting because you go at the maximum level of integration of the screw, of the pivots. That's the most interesting thing, is that when you develop, you're developing holistically a watch, and you're not assembling something that you do in silos to specialists, because you speak the same language. So and you're doing the development in the same moment. That's, to me, the value of a manufacturer. Then the execution of it is extremely important because you do it at the top level, but the thinking, that's why the quality is so high, because everything is thought in the same moment. And if you help a dial maker, and you saw the tolerance that you can have on a case, on a dial, if those two developers are sitting in the same room and one needs a couple of microns of tolerance and the case can give it to him, it's magic can come, no?
I could listen to him for hours. No, I love the passion. I have to say, I think this is what we need in the industry. We need passion. We need this kind of discreet luxury. I know that many of you continue to develop. We all start collecting watches at a certain level, also at the level what we can spend, of course, and then we go through the big names and you go through all this stuff. But at a certain point, maybe you will arrive at the small, interesting brands, and I can tell you at Parmigiani, and what I have seen or be able to discover the last days was incredible. And I can only tell you, this is really, chapeau, as we say in French, chapeau, respect, everything. Guido, continue going on.
Thank you.
Enjoying your new
role.
Your new part of your life, or your new challenge you have now, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
We will very much continue to watch what you're doing, because I'm sure you will bring.
I hope you had fun with us.
Oh, I did.
How did you like the visit?
You know, coming home after one of these days was always reflecting, and I was really reflecting to it by listening to some music, or yesterday I went for a walk. It's just amazing. You have to really let it sit and digest what you see, and it's impressive. It's impressive.
Thank you.
Guido?
It's been a pleasure.
Yes. You see the videos, you watch them, discover them on our channel, and and I'm happy that you saw now the new Tonda collection. And for all inquiries or questions you have, comment section. I'm happy to read your comments, questions, etc. And if they are too difficult, I'll pass them on to the boss.
Va bene.
Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned on WatchAdvisor on YouTube.
Thank you.